Sarah Jo here, and in this tutorial I'm showing you how easy it is to sew gathers. All you'll need is your project, thread, and a home sewing machine. For garments with less gathers, it's suggested to use one line of basting stitches. If you want lots of gathers, use at least 2 lines of basting stitches. This will help space the gathers more evenly. In this tutorial, I'm using 2 lines of basting stitches. On your sewing machine, adjust the stitch width to as long as it will go. The seam allowance for the project I'm working on is a 1/2 inch, so I'll make my first line of stitching with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. It's important not to backstitch and to leave the thread tails long. This fabric doesn't leave visible holes after the stitching is removed, so I'm going to make the next line of stitching at 5/8 inch seam allowance. If you're using silks or fabrics that will leave holes after stitching is removed, I suggest to stitch your basting stitches within the seam allowance. The thread color doesn't matter a lot for this tutorial because the basting stitches I'm making now will eventually be removed. To create the gathers, pull on either of the top 2 threads or the bottom 2 threads. In this instance, I'm pulling the top threads, the pink threads. If I pull both the top and the bottom, it won't gather. Pull from each end to spread the gathers evenly. To finish, you'll stitch either the binding or the piece of fabric between the 2 lines of stitching, and then remove the basting stitches. Stitching between the 2 lines of basting stitches helps keep the gathers spread evenly and straight. Happy sewing!